George Best played hard, lived hard, died too early. His rise to fame as a boy from Belfast in Northern Ireland coincided with the rise of another famous British institution. And when he helped win the European Cup for Manchester United in 1968, he was dubbed El Beetle. He was one of the first celebrity footballers, with his high-rolling lifestyle and heavy drinking, for which he would pay a price later. But when he died of multiple organ failure in 2005, aged just 59, he left an indelible legacy for football. He may be the best ever footballer to hail from the British Isles. Certainly, he was the most talented. Most of his greatest feats were performed at club level for Manchester United, whom he joined as a 17-year-old from Belfast, when he had learned the game kicking a tennis ball around the streets. United won First Division English titles in 1965 and 1967, as well as becoming the first English team to win a European Cup, with Best in his prime. And he won the Ballon d'Or for Best Player in Europe in 1968. Sadly, he never graced the finals of a FIFA World Cup, for Northern Ireland never qualified when he was playing in his prime. By the time his country qualified in 1982, he was 37, playing in North America, but a spent force.
At the moment, I think I'm a complete wreck in every way, which is why I came here. I didn't decide to come here, I just went to the airport and ended up here. I just wanted to get away from it.
On the verge of a nervous breakdown?
Probably, yeah. I think if I hadn't got away, I would have had one.
Best's lifestyle was as famous as his incredible dribbling skills, and his most famous quote tells a story. "I spent a lot of money on booze, birds, and fast cars. The rest I just squandered." But Pelé regarded him as the best player in Europe, if not the world, and he inspired a young Diego Maradona growing up in Buenos Aires. None of his off-pitch exploits can diminish his impact at United, which had not won a title for 6 years when he arrived as a teenager, and was not the superpower that it is today. Best's arrival to join famous manager Matt Busby yielded 2 English League titles, and his star was shining its brightest.
It took me a long time to realise, who the hangers-on were and who weren't. And I did enjoy being the centre of attraction, but it became a monster.
In 1967-68, United became the first English team to win the European Cup, beating a Benfica team that included the great Eusebio 4-1 in extra time. Best scored a brilliant goal at the start of extra time to put United ahead, and Bobby Charlton and Brian Kidd added the cream on top of the club's greatest triumph to that point. George Best was just 22 years old, and he was English Player of the Year, had won the Ballon d'Or as the best player in Europe, and won European club football's greatest prize. 4 years later, he retired from football, then made a short comeback with United, followed by stints at several other European clubs and in America, then stepped away for good.
Could have been anything. I mean, I never ever measured it in quantity. It was a length of time, usually, how much I drank. But even in those days, I mean, I went for long periods of times when I didn't drink, but when I did, I had to be. I suppose I drank the same as I played or trained. I wanted to be the best trainer, I wanted to be the best player, and I wanted to be the best drinker, which isn't very smart when you're a professional athlete.
At Old Trafford, headquarters of Manchester United, there is a statue of the so-called Holy Trinity of Best, Charlton, and Denis, scorers of a combined 665 goals for the club. George Best's star faded quickly, but he could dribble a ball and step through a tackle like no one else. He was a true immortal.